Well, hello. I'm a fan of the sock monkey. Yep, that's it. It's my headgear. It's after Christmas and we're approaching the new year. So I'm wearing my sock monkey. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm gathering myself together. I have to admit, I'll just be flat out honest. I don't know how long this video is going to be because I am tired. I don't know if it's just buildup of everything that's happening or that has happened. Um, but perhaps I think when your body is trying to tell you something, you should listen. And I happen to know and have studied enough to know that when your body is saying it needs rest, it's in a healing process. So obviously, it's screaming for something. Forgive me for any future yawns. All right, now that that's out of the way, here's episode number 2 in our series of grief. And on the precipice of saying goodbye to 2024, in my thought process, it's kind of like, yeah, I want it behind me. So much has happened in 2024. For me personally, I don't need it. I actually say good riddance, and I welcome 2025, whatever it may bring. So, with that being said, I'm basically going to say sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, Dach, aloha, adios, auf, I already said auf Wiedersehen, arrivederci, au revoir, and basically, see ya. And don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. How do you like that one? I don't know what kind of year 2024 was for you, but I'm ready to say goodbye to that. And I'm ready to take up my stuff and, or as Jesus said, pick up your mat and walk. I lost a lot of things in 2024, namely my mom. I said goodbye to an episode of my life. And regardless of how much I miss my mom, and I'm going through the various stages of grief, um, there is no stage of grief. Let's face it. If you study David Kessler or even Megan Devine or an example from Nora McInernay, she's a podcaster. She lost her sibling, her father, and her husband all in one fell swoop. And she talks quite openly about how she survived and how she's moved on. And she talks about her status of grief. And it's pretty powerful because she became a single mom of a toddler. I don't think he was even 2 years old at the time. And her husband died of cancer. So uh, she's since been remarried and is now part of a blended family. But she talks about how she deals with grief. And yes, while I'm talking about this subject, I will keep this thing on my head, even though I feel like I'm burning up. But it's just me trying to keep things lighthearted. It's a very heavy subject, right? But you go through these things of this time last year's, the anniversary countdowns, and it was hard going through the holidays. And but it's behind me now. And I'm sure those of you that are going through any types of grief that you're thinking the same thing. It's behind me, and then we start doing all this stuff like future tripping. We start thinking about the future and um it's almost like you have to stop yourself and say, you need to be here in the present. You need to be here in the now. Don't rush yourself, because what you're going to find out, what I'm learning, is that you will always have your loved ones with you. You will always maneuver through life from this day forward, from the day that they took the last breath, with them, with you. I know it sounds crazy, but I do talk to my parents quite often. I ask their advice. I know they're watching. I know they see. And it actually gives me comfort, because I want their guidance. And a lot of people in my Christian world might say, well, we should be content at knowing that that your parents are with the Lord, and and they're in a better place. Well, yeah, of course they are. But that doesn't help me here now. Am I supposed to be okay with that? Yeah, I guess I am supposed to be okay with that. And I am. I know where they're at. I know where they are at. I also know that I am going to be there one day too. Let me straighten this bad boy out. Look, I can get all Christianese and get all funky with all that. It's not that I don't believe, but my feelings are real. And actually, as we go through this, you want to be validated. You want to be seen. You want to be heard, because what you're going through, people, I've said it before, people are weird. They don't want to deal with you. They don't want to feel or acknowledge what you're going through. The truth of the matter is, and everybody that's lost somebody or lost something, or even gotten in a divorce, or a relationship has changed, or you're grieving. It doesn't have to be a death. David Kessler talks about, he's a grief counselor. He talks quite openly. He calls it the river. When you're grieving, it's like a river. It'll automatically take you where you need to be. You don't get to say how it's going to be. You don't get to, you could fake it till you make it. But the point is, it's going to go the way it's going to go. There's no rushing it. There's no slowing it down. It's like you will just be in this flow of water that'll eventually take you where you need to be. It never goes away. It doesn't go away. I'm going to let Nora McInernay talk about this. She did a TED talk a few years ago, and she's going to talk about her husband, Aaron. And by this time that she's talking, she's already married to her current husband, Matthew. And she'll explain what it feels like for her. Let's see what she has to say.
You measure.
Yeah, it's her present. It's just like what I'm going through. There's so much happening with me right now. I'm not at liberty to talk about it right now, but I will, because I'm going to get through this. And when I do get through it, boy, do I have a lot to say. However, I'm tired. It's mentally exhausting. Grief can be mentally exhausting. There's so much to be done. There's so much to say. But there's a time and place for that. The new year's coming around. I'm hopeful for better things. I don't know necessarily that it will be better. I just know that I'm going to be better. I can't say anything beyond that because I don't know any more than you do. My grief will slowly dissipate. It won't go completely away, but it'll get better and easier to deal with. And I know that my grief group that I have once a week will sustain me. It's filled with people that are dealing with anticipatory grief of their loved one, be it a spouse, be it a parent. Um, and then I've got other people that are dealing with the loss of their parents. It's crazy. It's a world unfamiliar to me. I've never been an orphan before. Kind of sounds sad, huh? It is. It is actually. It's a strange, strange feeling. I always had the comfort of my parents being there, you know. If I wanted to ask them questions, I'd always know that they were there. I'd ask them advice. You know, what did you do when you experienced this? You know, things like that. Um, that's what I miss that the most. I miss being goofy with my dad. I miss uh I miss hanging out with him. And believe it or not, I admit, I miss hanging out with my mom. You know what I you know what I'm gonna miss? That's only merely a memory at this point, is being my mom's daughter. The only time I really felt like I was her daughter is when we had to do some work at her house, and we put her into an active living facility temporarily, and she put up with it. I think she actually enjoyed it because she's a very social person. Talked about mom in present tense. Did you hear that? um, I think she actually kind of liked it, and but it was the first time that I wasn't caring for her. The staff was caring for her, bathing her, feeding her, doing all the things that I was doing, and I actually got to visit her. I got to be her daughter. She got to be my mom. But nothing beats the last month of her living. When she was cognizant, I was able to be her daughter. And it wasn't much time out of the 60 years that we were together. But boy, I miss that feeling of being a daughter. So 2024 is just a couple of days away, and 2025 is going to hit. I pray it's going to be a good one for all of us. But I'm telling you, I'm saying goodbye to 24, and I'm saying hello to 2025. Thank you for choosing to hang out with me. I know this is a short one, but you know what? There's only so much you could talk about when it comes to grief. But I wanted to put something out to usher in the new year. And I wanted to wish you all a happy new year as well. I think it's important that we welcome it in with a good attitude. I can't say what's ahead, but it's got to be better than what it was, right? It's got to be better. That's for damn sure. Please give a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Drop me a comment. I like talking to you guys. I like knowing that you're there. Please do. I hope you like my little sock monkey hat. It's just me being goofy because that's what I am. I'd rather have something goofy on my head and rather than a monkey on my back. Hey, check out the videos here. And I think there's one over here. Be sure and check those out. And be blessed. Welcome it in. And remember to always be good to yourself. Take care.